Welcome to Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown 205 live results for the week of April 3rd, 2020. April 1st birthdays, Randy Orton, 1980. Jesse Sorensen, 1989. April 2nd birthday, Jack Evans, 1982. Scorpio Sky, 1983. Sawyer Fulton, 1990. And rounding out birthdays, April 3rd, Lance Storm turned 51 years old. 2020 Money in the Bank pay-per-view reportedly will not be happening as planned, as it is the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania. Noted in early March how the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland had announced Money in the Bank pay-per-view for May the 10th. Tickets went on sale Friday, March 13th. WrestleVotes reports that the event will not take place as scheduled to the ongoing scheduled changes related to the coronavirus pandemic. The status of Money in the Bank 2020 is still to be determined, as are other events as the COVID-19 outbreak continues. It was noted that Money in the Bank could end up being held at the Performance Center. May 1st SmackDown tickets are still being sold as of this date. Seth Rollins recently spoke with the Hollywood Life at this link to promote his WrestleMania 36 match against Kevin Owens. Rollins said that the past few weeks have been really humbling experience as WWE was forced to make significant changes due to the coronavirus pandemic. There's a lot of gratitude that goes on into the last few weeks. Rollins said, a lot of times our job runs us ragged and we complain, as all of us do, about our workplaces. We are frustrated or are overworked and underappreciated and stuff like that. I think with this situation, it certainly makes you take a look at a brighter side of things. You look around and you see that over 3 million Americans filed for unemployment last week, which is unheard of. And the fact that we in the WWE are still able to have employment. Not only that, but it's a job that I love. And I still get to take part in that job during that time. If it is in an abbreviated fashion, there is something very humbling and a lot of gratitude that goes along with all of us, all of that. So, hopefully, we can come out of this crisis. It will be something we can take with us moving forward in our day-to-day lives. Rollins said that he and his fiancée, Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch, are being super chill during the COVID-19 quarantine. While keeping their spirits high, he said they're taking advantage of the downtime by cooking dinner together, watching movies, and hanging out. Obviously, no one knows how long this process is going to take, Rollins said. We're taking advantage of the downtime to cook some dinners, watch movies, and hang out. We don't really get a lot of time to do that. So, we are going to get full nights of sleep. We are going to hang out with my animals. Just enjoy quality time as opposed to work time, which is where we spent most of our time doing. Luckily, she is not one of those fussy types that need a lot to be entertained. So I am okay, and I'll be all right. I think she is down with drinking beers and hanging out as well. One thing Rollins isn't interested in is TikTok, the social media platform that has seen an increase in users during the coronavirus quarantine. Celebrities such as Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez have made headlines for their TikTok videos. Rollins said he hates the social media app. Unless he's not on Facebook, he does have that. Kobe Lopez. Oh goodness, I'm looking forward to most spending time with my animals, my dog Kevin, and my cat Daryl, as I don't get to spend nearly as much time with them when we have our regular schedule. Rollins says, as far as TikTok is concerned, look, I will say this very plainly, I hate TikTok. The internet is great cheerleader right now since there is a great amount of this time where positivity is going around, and I don't want to spread negativity. But look, we have way too much time on our hands, and TikTok is not. I mean, read a book. For God's sake, these dance videos on TikTok are driving me absolutely insane. I can't handle it anymore. Yeah, I'm looking forward to staying in and watching a bunch of television shows and catching up with some movies. Hanging out with my dog and my cat. I am going to order an espresso machine for my house, and I can learn how to make great coffee at home. My coffee shop is having a lot of trouble, obviously, right now as a small business. So those are a few things I am looking forward to. But TikTok is not one of them. Laughs emoji. Announcing WWE's The Bump, The Miz was injured during last night's brawl on SmackDown and won't be participating in WrestleMania. If initially Miz and Morrison were scheduled to defend SmackDown Tag Team titles in a ladder match against New Day and the Usos, but it will now be Morrison versus Jimmy Uso versus Kofi Kingston in a ladder match with the tag titles at stake. Behind the scenes, Miz was actually sick when he showed up to last week's tapings and wasn't cleared to compete. Well, if he wasn't cleared to compete, why did he even do the SmackDown tapings? The main event opening video kicks off the show after usual WWE signatures. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and OC make their entrance, and Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips checks on commentary. The OC, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson versus Everrise, tag team members of Chase Parker and Matt Martell. Unknown guys. Gallows kicks Parker in the stomach. Parker in the stomach. Gallows clubs the back of Parker. Parker ducks a clothesline attempt by Gallows. Parker strikes the midsection of Gallows several times. Gallows drives his hip into Parker. Later in the match, Martell hits a head scissors takedown on Anderson. Anderson kicks Martell in the face. Parker tagged in. Martell with a drop toe hold on Anderson. Parker then drags an elbow to the back of Anderson. Parker picks Anderson up for a 2 count. Anderson pushes Parker into Martell. Anderson hits a spine buster on Parker. His signature move. Anderson then rags Gallows in. Gallows connects with a big boot to Martell as he and Anderson set up their finisher. Gallows and Anderson hit the Magic Killer on Parker. Gallows picks up the win on Parker for the win. A recap of SmackDown was shown, featuring Bray Wyatt's most recently Firefly Funhouse segment. Oh yeah, that's from last week, by the way. Recap of Raw was shown, featuring Shayna Baszler attacking Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Video pack was shown highlighting the feud between Edge and Randy Orton. Cedric Alexander makes his entrance. Fabian Aichner of Imperium makes his entrance, his opponent. They lock up before exchanging wrist locks. Alexander locks in a headlock on Aichner. Aichner then drops Alexander to the mat. Alexander eventually hits a DDT on Aichner. Alexander picks Aichner up for a 2 count. Pins Alexander for a 2 count. Alexander then goes for the lumbar check. Aichner fights out of it. Aichner slaps the chest of Alexander. Aichner connects with a forearm to Alexander. Alexander then goes for a neuralizer. Aichner catches him with a waist lock. Aichner goes for a German suplex. Alexander lands on his feet. Alexander goes for a blockbuster. Aichner turns around to a brainbuster. Aichner pins Alexander for a 2 count. Alexander rolls Aichner up for a 2 count. Counters back and forth. Alexander drop kicks the knees of Aichner. Alexander then hits the neuralizer kick on Aichner. Alexander then pins Aichner for the 3 count. Then the recap Undertaker's promo from Raw was shown. Recap of Raw is shown to close the show, featuring Universal Champion Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman's in-ring promo. SmackDown results live from the taping from the empty WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, Winter Park, as Michael Coleslaw welcomes us to the show. In the ring, set up for another must-see edition of Miz TV, Greg Hamilton goes to introduce SmackDown Tag Team Champions John Morrison and The Miz, but he's interrupted by the music of the Usos. Very similar to what they have done to the Usos in the past. Out comes Jimmy and Jay with microphones. We see ladders all over the Performance Center. Usos get hyped to enter the ring. People at home, rings out as the New Day's music hit starts up. Out comes Kofi Kingston and Big E. Kofi disagrees with the Usos, saying that they would be the ones to snatch down the titles at WrestleMania 36 this weekend. Big E says the circumstances are unique this year, but it's still WrestleMania, and they plan on taking the titles. The two teams argue. Out comes Miz and Morrison with the titles. Miz is used to this kind of disrespect, but they deserve better. They go on, and Miz says the two teams can argue all they want because the champs will just take a front row to what will happen at WrestleMania. He says they can destroy each other, which will allow them to climb the ladder to retain. Miz and Morrison have climbed ladders on the stage now, as they were all around the Performance Center. Only for this match, Miz and Morrison tell the Usos and the New Day to be jealous. Usos and the New Day rush the stage for a fight. Miz and Morrison meet them, and they all brawl. There's carnage and Big E's bumps everywhere. Miz and Morrison level Kofi, and one of the Usos with a ladder before standing tall as Morrison's music hits. Cole Saw hypes the triple threat ladder match for this weekend. So to come second, John Cena addresses the Firefly Funhouse match challenge from Bray Wyatt. Also, we will look back at the farewell match for WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair. Of course, that was against Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. We get triple threat action from the females. Naomi versus Lacey Evans versus Tamina Snuka. Members of your 6-woman elimination match at WrestleMania. We go back to the ring, and out first comes Naomi for a triple threat. Go to commercial. Back for the ring, out comes Sasha Banks and women's champion Bayley to join Coleslaw on commentary. Lacey Evans was out next, followed by Tamina. The bell rings and they all go at it. Snuka with some offense early on. Evans counters and nails a basement dropkick. Naomi goes to roll Snuka up, but has her head slammed into the mat. Tamina fights Evans off and tosses her next to Naomi on the floor, on the apron. Snuka knocks them both off and sends them to the floor. Snuka stands tall as we go right back to a commercial. Back for the break, Snuka goes at it with Naomi. Naomi with a big springboard kick. Evans comes back and unloads on Snuka, clotheslining her. Evans with boots in the corner. Evans launches herself over the top rope with an elbow drop to Snuka. Naomi ends up dropping Evans with a big kick on the floor. Banks gets up and launches Evans into steel ring steps. Banks turns around to a kick to the face from Naomi. Naomi comes back in with a kick to the head, but Snuka rocks her back and forth. Snuka catches Naomi with a Samoan drop. Snuka can't get the pin and shows frustration. Snuka misses a splash on Naomi in the corner. Bayley hits the apron, but Naomi sends her back down. Naomi turns around to a super kick from Tamina for the pin and the win. After the match, Bayley grabs her title from the announce table as Snuka stares her down from the ring. Bayley hits the ring and keeps talking. Bayley offers her hand for a shake and says she's proud to have Tamina in the match at WrestleMania, and it's good to have her back. Snuka shakes her hand as Bayley keeps mocking her. Tamina drops Bayley with a big super kick. Banks tends to Bayley, and then looks to suck up Tamina. Tamina pulls her into a big Samoan drop. Tamina then stares Banks down. That's when music starts back up. To end the segment. Still to come segment, John Cena will be here. Also, WrestleMania 24 replay of Ric Flair's retirement match versus Heartbreak Kid. Back to Marshall. Back from the break, we see Tucker talk to Mandy Rose backstage. Truth will be heard. In big letters appears over the screen. It looks like this could be unrelated to Tucker and Rose. Possibly something to do with the recent glitches we've seen on SmackDown. Thus the tease of Killer Cross. Cole says Tucker will face Dolph Ziggler later on. Cole leads us to a replay of the WrestleMania 24 match between Hall of Famer Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, which was a farewell match for the Nature Boy. We get a few replays and come back, and we finally see the end of the match. It's Flair's emotional farewell after the match. Cole shows what happened to Elias at the hands of King Corbin last week. Cole wonders if Elias will be able to compete against Corbin at WrestleMania 36 this week. Cole then announces that Braun Strowman will now face Universal Champion Bill Goldberg. No mention of Roman Reigns, backing out. Tucker and Otis are backstage. Tucker mentions saying Mandy Rose earlier, but he thinks she was just being nice when she asked about Otis. And he thought she was headed to Dolph Ziggler's room. Otis gets a text message, and he's really excited. He rushes off, but won't tell Tucker where he's going. Tucker asks, what about the match? Which is up next. Back to commercial. Ziggler versus Tucker was up next. Back for the break, out comes Tucker. Dolph Ziggler was out next. Bell rings and they go at it. Trading offense, Tucker overpowers early on and levels Ziggler. Tucker works Ziggler over while he's down on the mat. Ziggler kicks Tucker's knees and nails a neckbreaker. Ziggler drops a big elbow to the chest for a close 2 count. Ziggler keeps Tucker grounded, telling the referee to ask him if he gives. Tucker fights to his feet, but Ziggler slams him back down to the mat. Ziggler nails a drop kick for another 2 count. Ziggler goes right back to the headlock. Ziggler goes on until Tucker catches the kick and drops him. Tucker catapults Ziggler into turnbuckles and keeps control. Ziggler comes back and goes on to hit a big shot in the corner. Ziggler keeps control and drops Tucker with a DDT. Back to commercial. Back to the right. Tucker fights off of a headlock. They trade tracks in the middle of the ring now. Tucker tosses Ziggler across the ring and out to the floor. Tucker follows and slams Ziggler face first into the announce table. Tucker launches Ziggler into the barrier as the referee counts. Tucker breaks the count as Ziggler tries crawling up the ramp. Tucker then grabs Ziggler and launches him into steel ring steps. Tucker brings Ziggler back in the ring. Tucker catches a kick and nails a side slam for a 2 count. Tucker shows some frustration now. Ziggler rolls back to the floor for a breather. Tucker goes to slam Ziggler on the steps, but he slides out. Ziggler digs at Tucker's eyes and then nails a zigzag on the bottom part of the steps. Referee calls the match. Winner by disqualification, Tucker. After the match, Ziggler is all smiles as he stands tall at ringside. Ziggler grabs the other half of the steps and goes to slam them onto Tucker. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville come out to the ramp with Mandy screaming for Ziggler to stop. Otis also runs out. Everyone stops and we see the familiar glitches on the screen. As the truth will be heard, message pops back on the screen. The big screen now shows a man sitting in a production control. CM Punk style, hoodie on, in front of a security camera. The hooded man turns around, but we still can't see his face. He told us the truth will be heard, and we are paying attention. The man presses a play button, and we see security camera video for Valentine's Day. The video shows Rose and Deville backstage talking about Otis and their date that night. Rose said Otis is big, but he's super sweet. Deville supports the date. Rose walks out, and Deville picks up her phone. We see Deville sending the infamous text message to Otis. We also see Otis receive the text reply. Security camera feed then shows Deville deleting the text from Otis. We see Rose in the Performance Center now, looking shocked at Deville. Deville pleads with her. We also see footage of Ziggler and Deville backstage on Valentine's Day, conspiring together against Rose and Otis' date to get what they both want. The truth will be heard. Glitches go off again, and the man is gone. Deville begs Mandy to please understand. Rose just looks at everyone and walks up the ramp to the back. Deville follows. Otis chases Ziggler and knocks him down at the bottom of the ramp. Ziggler keeps running away to the back as Otis tears him down. Then it checks back on Tucker. So the cut segment, Daniel Bryan versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Back to commercial. Back to the right, we see Mandy Rose walking backstage. Sonya Deville is behind her, trying to make her case, but Rose doesn't want to hear it. Rose keeps walking. Next, we got Daniel Bryan versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We go back to the ring, and out comes Daniel Bryan with Drew Gulak. We see how Gulak earned Bryan's WrestleMania 36 title shot from Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn by defeating Shinsuke Nakamura last week. Out next comes Nakamura with Zayn and Cesaro. The bell rings and they go at it. Zayn is on commentary, while Cesaro and Gulak look on from the ringside. Bryan takes control and works Nakamura over while he's down. Nakamura fights up and out, but runs into a dropkick. Nakamura goes to the floor to regroup, but Bryan runs and kicks him back to the barrier. Bryan with the double knees off the apron to the floor. Gulak and Cesaro have words at ringside. Bryan brings Nakamura back in and goes to the top. Bryan with a missed dropkick. Bryan kicks up and taunts Sami. Bryan with a running drop kick to Nakamura in the corner. Bryan takes Nakamura to the top for a hurricane, but is blocked. Nakamura leaps from the top and drops Bryan for a 2 count. Nakamura keeps control and drops Bryan on his head. Bryan is down as we go back to commercial. Back and forth after the break. Bryan mocks Nakamura with a yes kick while he's on his knees. Nakamura comes back with a stiff strike of his own. Bryan and Nakamura continue trading shots and pin attempts as Galak gives Bryan advice from ringside. Bryan works on Nakamura's arm. Bryan ends up running into a big flying kick. Nakamura with an exploder suplex for the corner. Nakamura goes for the Kinshasa, but Bryan grabs his leg and rolls him into a submission. Bryan grabs Nakamura's back in the middle of the ring as Galak cheers him on. Nakamura breaks the hold. Bryan gets up and he tries big strikes. More back and forth again until Bryan goes for the yes lock. Cesaro hits the ring to break it up for the disqualification. Winner by DQ, Daniel Bryan. After the match, Galak and Bryan are destroyed by Cesaro, Zayn, and Nakamura. Bryan is driven into the down table before Galak is launched into the steel ring steps. Zayn brings Bryan back in the ring, and Cesaro follows with Nakamura. Cesaro with a neutralizer on Bryan. Nakamura with a Kinshasa to Bryan while Cesaro holds him. Zayn talks trash to Bryan ahead of their match this weekend. Sammy tells Cesaro and Nakamura to hold Bryan up as the referee keeps yelling at him. Zayn with a big helluva kick in the corner. Zayn's music hits his belt as the heels celebrate as the referee checks on Bryan. Back from the break, out comes John Cena for the final SmackDown segment before WrestleMania 36. Cena hits the ring and thanks Cole for setting the stage. Cena brings up how WWE decided 1 month ago to continue their shows at the Performance Center with no fans. He says it's been a learning curve, but we've gotten through it together. He gives thanks to the fans and says it's led us to these final moments before WrestleMania where everyone is asking what's really going to happen. Cena says starting tomorrow night, a must-epic broadcast will air. The most viewed WrestleMania in history. How does he know this? Because for the first time ever, no one really knows what's going to happen. Cena says he's been challenged to a Firefly Funhouse match, and no one can tell him what that is. He doesn't even think Bray Wyatt knows. But that's exactly what the Fiend wants because the Fiend loves uncertainty. Cena says uncertainty leads to fear, and fear leads to panic. The panic leads to collapse. The Fiend thrives off certainty and has dominated the WWE landscape off fear and panic. Cena says, here we are on the eve of WrestleMania, staring into the uncertainty, asking what happens next. Cena is here tonight to tell us what happens next. He will not panic. He sure as hell isn't afraid. And he will squash Wyatt to finish what he started 6 years ago. He doesn't care where it is at because Wyatt isn't even on the level below him. Cena says anyone who knows him and knows what he's capable of and realizes this poor man's Mr. Rogers doesn't stand a chance. Cena goes on ripping the Fiend and says Universal Champion Bill Goldberg has already exposed the Fiend's weakness. Cena continues talking about the match until we hear Raymond Rabbit at ringside. We see the other Funhouse puppets popping up in the crowd, taunting Cena. Rabbit says he's here. Lights go on, and we hear the familiar sounds of the Fiend's arrival. The red light comes over the WWE Performance Center, and the Fiend is up top on the perch. Cena and the Fiend stare each other down. Wyatt suddenly appears behind Cena, yelling in his ear, "Let me in." Cena jumps, lights go back out, and Wyatt is no longer there. We hear the familiar sounds again, and SmackDown goes off the air with Cena in the ring by himself. 205 Live results: Kushida versus Danny Burch was advertised. Gentleman Jack Gallagher versus Tyler Breeze. The commentators are John Quasso and Aiden Williams, welcoming fans to a brand new edition of 205 Live. The first match of the night was announced. Kushida versus Danny Burch. Kushida goes for Burch's leg right away. Burch grabs a hold of Kushida and takes control of him with a wrist lock. Bert sends Kushida down on the mat. Both men get back up. Bert grabs Kushida's left leg and attempts to lock it in a half crab. Kushida crawls over to the bottom rope and grabs a hold of it before the half crab is officially locked in. Bert locks him in a side headlock takedown. Kushida rolls through. Bert's with a leg pick. Sends Kushida face first onto the mat. Kushida gets up and heads up top. He flies off only to be caught with a European uppercut in midair from Bert. Kushida gets his boot up and lands a handspring back elbow on Bert. Bert catches Kushida and locks him in a crossface. Kushida rolls out. Bert throws a few uppercuts. Kushida fights right back with several knee strikes. Kushida locks him in an arm submission on Bert, and Bert taps out. Winner first match, Kushida. And now your main event, gentlemen, Jack Gallagher versus Tyler Breeze. Both men lock up. Gallagher pushes Breeze up against the ropes. Breeze reverses it. Gallagher locks in a side headlock. Breeze pushes Gallagher towards the ropes. And Gallagher connects with a shoulder tackle. Breeze fires back with a shoulder tackle of his own. Followed by a takedown. Gallagher catches Breeze in midair and sends him face first onto the top rope. Gallagher throws down a sight, then an uppercut. Breeze fights back with a few midsection shots, followed by a drop kick. Breeze connects with two running forearms and a supermodel kick. Breeze covers Gallagher. Gallagher kicks out at two. Gallagher locks in an armbar. Breeze gets his foot on the bottom rope. Both men exchange strikes in the middle of the ring. Breeze sends Gallagher towards the barricade on the outside. Back in the ring, Gallagher connects with a discus elbow smash and wins the match. Winner, gentleman, Jack Gallagher. And that concludes 205 Live. And that also concludes my video. See you while I'm here. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters. And that's the bottom line. Because Kurt Dog said so.